Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Lebanon Board of Park Commissioners meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order and let the record show that all members are present. And if everyone's had a chance to look at the minutes from the March 1st meeting, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I move that we approve the March minutes.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we'll jump in first with old business tonight. Deb Schmucker, an update on the 5-year master plan.
Off so quick, I wasn't quite ready.
Good evening, how are you? So basically, we got comments back from DNR. I think last time I was here was February, so we had gone ahead and we're updating some things. DNR just asked questions. I call it tying all of the through line together, so there was nothing major, just tying some information and data and clarifying some acreages for them. And basically, you received a copy of the PDF that was updated. And so really the reason I'm here tonight is it's time to adopt your 5-year master plan. So we're looking for a resolution to adopt this most recent 5-year master plan, and we'll turn it in and get that in. The deadline, I believe, is April 15th, so we're right on track for where we need to be. And then once we get all the adoption resolution, the final letter from DNR, then we'll put all that and update the PDF so that the PDF has all of those official signatures and approvals. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those. But that brings to the conclusion this round of the 5-year master plan, which has been a little while in the process with all the things going on, but we've tried to incorporate all the changes that have been going on in the city over this it's been the last year. So it's a current updated document, probably ahead of its time. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Anybody have questions for Deb? Okay, hearing none, I should probably read the resolution.
That would probably be appropriate, yes.
Okay. Okay, this is a resolution whereas the Lebanon Board of Parks Commissioners is aware of the parks and recreation needs of the residents of Lebanon, Indiana, and whereas the Lebanon Board of Park Commissioners realizes the importance of sound planning to meet the needs of its citizens. Now therefore be it resolved that the Lebanon Board of Park Commissioners does adopt the Lebanon Parks and Recreation Comprehensive 5-Year Park System Master Plan as its official plan for the next 5 years for the growth and development of parks and recreation opportunities in Lebanon, Indiana. Passed and signed this day, attest President and Secretary. Okay, with that, I'd entertain a motion to pass the resolution to accept the master plan.
I move that we pass the resolution.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. So the resolution, the master plan has been accepted. Okay. Thank you.
Then I just have that original.
Okay, is Kevin?
Kevin is not in this evening. Well, maybe that's him in the doors now, I don't know. But I can just tell you.
Oh, there he is.
Kevin, you're up. There you go. There you go.
Can we just go in order? This game is awesome.
My apologies. We lost power here a couple hours ago, and it really messed things up. So back on track now, though. All right. Well, thanks for having me back again this evening. Just give you a brief update on where things stand, things that have changed related to the Stone Eater Bike Park. We're still working through, we're not really working through approvals, but we have the earthwork donation for from the new cold site development that is beginning to take shape. Hauling and stockpiling has started last week with some site preparation. Really, though, this is weather pending, and obviously the weather today and last week hasn't been great for moving earthwork, so that's kind of waiting for the weather to cooperate. But we've got a $2 million earthwork donation from New Cold, and that is critical for our Ready Grant match, and that work is beginning to happen. We've also got proposals from the New Cold contractor, which is a local contractor, Merit Contracting, that will be hauling and stockpiling the dirt. And due to the cost savings of having them place the dirt while they're hauling it, cost savings that amount to about $350,000, we will be entering into a resolution with the Board of Works and City Council to direct select Merit to place that earthwork and put that in place for a contract of about $500,000. Happy to report the NDOT approvals are complete for our entry drive permits. We received those about 2 weeks ago. IDEM approvals, we did receive minor comments on March 6th. We're working on responding to those. There's multiple disciplines involved, from our geotech advisors, our environmental engineers, to our site civil engineers and our bike park designers, working on just coordinating all those comments across all those various disciplines. But we should be revising those, revising plans and getting comments addressed here in the next 2 weeks. I'd like to have something back to them before the end of April, and hopefully that will be the end to our back and forth with IDEM. The Ready Grant, obviously that approval is now complete. We've had our procurement meeting. We had that on March 7th. And happy to report that today the Ready Committee gave me the authorization to proceed with the CMC delivery method. The construction manager is constructor delivery method. That's a specific project delivery method that's provided underneath Indiana Code 532. So we will be pursuing that once we have the IDEM approval in place. Obviously, you gave us approval for that CMC delivery method previously. We've also had that from the Board of Works, and that, per your recommendation, is pending approvals with IDEM. So as I said, hopefully we'll have that, I would say early May, and we'll be able to issue that RFP for the CMC proposals. Our total budget, just to remind everyone, our Phase 1 budget is $2 million. Where we get to that number is roughly $500,000, well, exactly $500,000 from our American Rescue Plan, $750,000 in the award from the Ready Grant. We have a matching fund designation from the city of another $750,000. And then we've got fundraising totals and commitments of around $30,000. So we're just at about a $2 million Phase 1 project. Keep in mind there'll be future phases to the park, which would be the more active bike park features, the skills park, some of the wood fencing and landscaping, picnic areas, picnic shelters, and some additional trail improvements that will come in the future. But for Phase 1, I'm confident we can get our cross-country trail, we can get our parking lot and our entrance drive, we can get our maintenance facilities put in place, site utilities and other things necessary to operate the site, all for that $2 million Phase 1 project. And I mentioned that include a $750,000 match to the Ready Grant money, and that is coming out of our sanitation fund, and that is scheduled to go before council for that additional appropriation on the 24th of the month. So that's all the update I have for you, but happy to answer any questions you might have.
I just have a follow-up. Yeah. I just got a follow-up from last time.
Yeah.
I know you're going last month, but you said you'd bring the HMBA statistics for local.
I reached out to them, and I did get, HMBA didn't have anything, but I reached out to our consultant. He was able to supply me with, a couple of weeks ago, some data on a national level that is broken out by state to state, but I just haven't had time to digest that yet and bring it to you in a form that would make sense. I didn't want to throw a lot of data at you, but I will get that processed here in the next couple days, and I'll send that out to everybody via email so you can see how those statistics break out on the local level. So, yep. Thanks for the reminder on that.
other questions for Kevin?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Old business, a couple more things. Abner Longley, the fishing pier, the surveyor's been out there. He's still got some survey to work to do. Still not complete with that yet before we go on to the next phase. Reese Park, the dirt that is back in the north of the Reese Park will be south. Yeah, it's south. There you go, southeast. The dirt will be filled in soon. Phase 2 starts right away, and it will use the southeast corner, but that area will not be usable for the rest of the year. It will be good to go in 2024, and that was from a utility meeting that I had with them on Monday. That's the old business.
Okay. Move on to new business. Damon, Crease.
Hello, Damon Crease with LISA. So I had a very rough day at work today, so I didn't get near the planning on what I wanted to come up and say done. Let me see here. So mostly what I wanted to come and kind of check in on a few things. So one of them was the dirt. Obviously, I think Scott had met with John yesterday, so we kind of had some information on that. Sounds like there's a phase 2, which we didn't know about, but hopefully, I mean, that shouldn't affect our fields, correct? Where that is won't encroach any further up. Okay. I also had talked to one of our coaches who said that he was interested in helping us get our water out there. I believe John said is also on the docket for getting us some water for the players. So that's something I'll probably talk with John more about. Let's see. I guess my next biggest item is our parking lot still, to know what's going on with that. We went out and we did our best to stripe with spray paint, so that way we get as many cars in there as we can. And then today, with the delightful weather we've had, I went out there and most of what we spray painted is already gone. Having a paved area with lines, I mean, that's just gonna allow a lot more for what we do. It helps it look more like we're put together. One of the compliments I've already had this week, we started our practices this week, was that this is starting to look more like a soccer complex versus just, a field with some goals in it. I just want to continue that motion going forward, hopefully, get those items taken care of. The next thing, and I hope that this was sent to you guys, did you guys get drawings of a barn by chance sent to you? Okay. Yeah, okay. So I have got that quoted, and then with our tax deductible or non-tax status as a 501c3, I think we're at like 9,200 or so to get that barn. And then we've had a local electrical contractor say that he would help us to tie in off the power that's there at the fields available to us. I guess I would like to request that this be funded. I've tried to go through the routes of getting donations and things like that, and nobody really wants to chuck forward 10 grand for a barn out at a park that's going to have very little besides like a plaque that says their name on it. And I don't want to sound like an attack. I'm all for things going on in this community, but $2 million for a bike park that may or may not get the numbers that we are getting. I feel like the kids that are out at Reese Park, we have 362 this season. We had over 500 last year alone. We're probably going to continue to grow. I think that it would be really beneficial for them to see that the parks and the city are behind them and their program. So I would like to request that that money either be diverted or found in the budget or something to get us a barn, so that way we can continue to grow, we can get more gear, we can have things better set up for the players, we can be more organized. With the ability to have water and power out there, we could then also open concessions and continue to grow what we do out there. I don't know if that's acceptable at a park, but I know like football and baseball do those things. I would like to have those options available to us to continue to grow our program. And so I would like to hopefully see those things be considered from you guys, or if I need to go to the city council meetings or whoever makes those financial decisions, I would like to have that chance to have those things happen.
Can I respond to a couple of those things? Okay. First of all, the parking lot being paved is one of the projects we had on the list this year.
Okay.
And we still haven't heard back from the council on funding.
Okay.
For all those projects. So I think we had told you that is on the list, but right now, we're just waiting on funding from the council because the park.
Okay. Is that city council?
Yes.
Okay,
Because
okay.
the park cannot, it's not in the park budget. We
Right.
go to the council with like 4 or 5 projects every year that they kind of want to see done, and they give us the money. And so then I'm going to go back to the barn, is that there wouldn't be any funding for that this year because we've already presented projects, because we have a list of projects, and those projects have already gone to the council. So there wouldn't be any additional funding that we could go for the barn, because the council is putting out additional monies for every department, not just the parks, but they have, it was 4 or 5 projects that we presented to the council. So that is not something that we could fund this year.
Okay.
Okay?
If we were to dip into our own reserves, would that be something that we could look at getting recouped in the future?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
So I mean, we're a nonprofit, we don't have a lot of discretionary funds, but if we were able to raise some sort of a, whatever, and be able to get that barn, would that be something that we could then look to get recouped from the city in the future, or reimbursed, I guess, yeah?
I can't answer that. That would have, because see, that wouldn't come out of the park budget. That would have to come from the council. So I don't know that that's anything. But in regards to the barn, I saw everything you did, but you might, if that's something you're going to look to do or try to raise money to do, you really need to meet with the park staff. So whatever is built there conforms with everything that we've done throughout the parks.
Well, so that was my next part, was to see if I could get approval of the drawing as it is.
You need to get with the park staff on that.
Okay.
Because we really don't maintain or anything. That's why I want you to get with the park staff on all of that. And then once you get with them, then it would have to go to planning here in the city to be.
So, I mean, the one thing that's beneficial to me about this barn is that it's not a permanent structure. I mean, obviously, if we tie in electricity, that would make it a little bit more permanent, but I've already talked to the people who would be selling this to us, and it is entirely movable, so that if in any future since we were able to find different location for a Reese, we could move that for a very reasonable amount. So, I mean, it would not be a necessarily fixed structure there.
See, that's a legal issue too. That would have to go to the attorney, because it's once you build a structure on park property, I can't answer that you could take it with you. That I can't answer. That would have to go to the attorney.
Okay.
David, so if it is not a fixed structure, how would it be secured? I'm not a construction.
I mean, it would just be a barn. It's a metal building, so I mean, but it's a 14 by 36. I mean, nobody's gonna be able to come in and just sneak away with it. But as far as, it would just be like our current barn that's sitting out there. It sits on, runners, and it can be
No
moved by.
concrete slab or anything like that?
No, so we've already got a concrete slab out there. That's, our big pad there, and we would just be looking to set it on that existing slab.
Same size as what you're proposing?
It's bigger than what we currently have, and it would be in a new location on that slab, but it would just sit on the concrete slab itself. So, yeah, I mean, the other benefit to that, and obviously, I may be spinning my wheels here, but we'd be able to then get, internet out there, be able to have cameras, have security for our fields to make sure that, nobody's walking off with our goals, our benches, things that we spend our money on, and then make sure that everything out there is safe and secure for the kids. So, yeah.
I'm not trying to say, no, you can't do it, but I'm saying when you put something on, build something on park property,
Well, so I mean, it
That's
wouldn't be
a-
built, it
that's a
would just be
legal
dropped there.
question.
But yeah, obviously, but we've done that with our existing barn, that wasn't out there when we moved out there in, I think, 2017, 16. I mean, we had a contractor move our barn, I think it was sitting at Deacon's Auto, and they moved it and just set it on the concrete slab there, so. But yeah, I mean, that one's falling apart, we're not gonna get much more use out of that thing before it disintegrates into the ground, so. Okay,
Okay,
that's it, thank you.
thank you. And we'll keep you informed as soon as we hear from the council on projects. Okay, John, director's report.
Okay, thank you very much. There you go with this. All righty, we have just finished our hiring for the 2023 season for Seashore Water Park. We hired 17 lifeguards and 8 concession stand workers. Thomas Ingalls completed his first lifeguard certification class with our first round of guards, and our next certification will take place at the end of this month on the 29th and 30th. Lucas Hale was recently hired for our maintenance department. He's doing a great job so far. We've also have openings for part-time summer maintenance. The applicants must be at least 15 years old. Starting pay is $10 an hour, and you can apply on our website or by stopping out at the office or call 482-8860 at the park. Going through just a brief list of what we did. I can't list everything. There's not enough paper. Have to cut down trees, do that. Memorial Park, we opened the restrooms at Memorial Park, also the baseball field. We rolled it, edged it, mowed it twice already, applied the pre-emergent. Water's all turned on now, so the irrigation's being repaired and it will be turned on here directly. Baseball season has arrived. Press box, concession stand clean and ready to go there. Scoreboard needs a little service, we're working on it. There again, probably the school will help us out with that because it really doesn't help anybody other than the baseball program, so they'll probably help with getting the scoreboard going. It's just the visitor side. Anyway, security cameras. We had 3 new cameras installed this last month. 5 cameras were adjusted. Wiring repairs, we had some that were shorting out, so those were done. Seashore Water Park, the water again has been turned on there. Concession stand, bathrooms, and a lot of toilets and showers, everything's working properly. Family restrooms are all going. There again, water heaters filled and checked, pool vessels, sandblasted, power washed, ready for paint. There will be some repairs, some concrete work, but we've hired that out along with the painting, so they'll take care of that when they do that. Power wash the entry cupola, ready for it to paint. Started on repairs of the lazy river. Took all the tile down, they'll be making repairs on it and then replacing the tile. Then they'll jump from there on over to a run-out slide and fix the concrete there. That will all be done here very soon so we can get our opening on time. Grounds, they've all been mowed, all our grounds have been mowed. Rolled quite a few of the sports fields and those areas. Catalpa trees, we had to remove those. There's 4 or 5 of them over there along Ewan in the, terrible, north-south, whatever, north part of the park, and I guess that's east. There again, they were old, dead, had to take them out. Huge trees, nice shade, but they had to go. And then 2 trees removed. We've ground all the stumps, everything's been good. Did a nice job on cleaning those up, already been seeded, ready to rock and roll. Playground, all-inclusive gate was repaired. It's getting just tons of use, as we all know, and the gate wasn't working. We got the gate, had to readjust things. Billy was right on top of that as soon as it happened, and took care of that. Graffiti constant thing, we're moving that up and down inside the slides. All the kids were on vacation, and yeah, they were very creative inside the slides. So we do check that on a weekly basis, and yeah, they had some nice artwork. All playgrounds have been inspected at Memorial Park. Abner Longley, moving on to there. Repairs on the dog park fence, we've done that. Brush and tree removal and stump grinding there again with the winds and everything. A few trees did blow down, they were pretty rotten. Leaf removal and preparation for seeding. There again, mulch trails throughout. If you want a nice little nature trail down in Abner Longley in those trees, nice wooded area, we put some mulch paths in. Water's been turned on in the softball building restrooms, also the restrooms up the top of the hill by the playground. Everything's working, back going, and those will be open from dawn to dusk. So if you'd like to use those facilities. Softball field, all the prep work's being done. Started brick dust install until today's beautiful weather, so we'll take back up tomorrow and get that ready. That thing is, the softball field's rented all through Little League season, so it's really booked. Probably the biggest bookings we've ever had down there, and I think one league. Youth football, water's been turned on, the water heater filled and ready to go. All the toilets connected and everything there again. Our maintenance department did an outstanding job, got that all going. Pre-emergent applied to football field, the grounds mowed, and also the playground inspected. Reese Park, there again, I should say at Abner Longley too, we have 2 fountains down at the conservation pond. Those have been reinstalled, rocking and rolling, looking good, lit up at night if you're by there and want to stop, and very peaceful to say the least. Reese Park, the ground's been mowed, some repairs made. They did some trench work early on for this project, the lift station going on out there. Went ahead and filled in the dirt, aerated, seeded it, so there's no trip hazards. I want to thank Damon for pointing that out. We were aware of it, but we got right on it and took care of that before the season started. Pre-emergent applied. It's looking yeah, pretty rough out there in some areas, but yeah, it's ready to rock and roll for 362 kids. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Rogers Park, there again, ground's been mowed out there. Kitty Park, ground's been mowed out there. Taking care of that. Hot Pond, the benches installed. We installed a bench, fountain, got it put in and installed again. Another nice tranquil place if you want to go and just take in the site and enjoy our new benches that are out there. Grounds mowed, shelters repaired, just minor repairs, but there again, a great maintenance staff. Ruth Berkshire Arboretum, we did the best we could. It's kind of flooded out there. Again, we have those drainage issues in all our parks that we really are trying to address. Yeah, it just keeps getting kicked down the road, but that's something that we really need to take care of. There again, Ruth Berkshire is a beautiful place, but we removed a few trees, a lot of brush cleaned up, and stumps ground down. There again, Big Ford Trail, tree clearing prep for paving, for the paving. Had a meeting today. Want to thank the planning department and Derek Warren, just doing an outstanding job of keeping everybody in line and staying on pace. They had a meeting at the county at Nick Parr, so that's all been approved for county road closure. They'll have to close the road when they put this paving in from Sarum Plant Road up to Hazel Rig. So anyway, that work should start on April 17th on or about, and it should be a 3-month, 2.5 to 3 month transformation from where that trail will be shut down. We will post it on our website. We will also put it on Facebook and try and get the communication, put it on our sign, but it will be closed. We don't want any traffic out there because there will be construction work. There again, we cleaned the brush up there and took down quite a few trees, so their asphalt machinery wouldn't be taken anything down or in the way, so we got everything out of the way for their machines. There again, we had a couple snow ice adventures this month, earlier in the season, or earlier in the month. So we got to get out and get some ice melt down and snow taken care of. And that's downtown, the Big Four Trail from the park all the way through Main Street, and all the way through Abner, all the way to the 4-H grounds, and all the way out to the trail. We don't do the county trail because it's a county trail, so we don't take care of that. We just pretty well let it, if there's enough snow, we will do it, but we also have some of those cross-country skiers like to use it, so we leave it, that snow out there. Just so you know, we have quite a few drive-in. Downtown, got the tables and chairs out. We'll be putting the umbrellas out till the weather quits acting like it is and the wind dies down. Spring cleanup, we trimmed the bushes, did a great job of that, and removed some plant material. We'll be looking at it after Mother's Day and be planting some different plant material up there. And then we installed all the mulch, got the beds looking very good, other than the rain knocked some of it out today, which we'll clean up tomorrow. Gene Haas building. Again, we've mowed out there. We started trimming all the plant material, done a couple of sections so far, mulched some of the areas. There's quite a bit to do out there, but really got a nice head start on it. Irrigation be turned on here directly, not in a hurry for it, and then repaired the flagpole. They had some stuff there, but just so you know, we take care of the Gene Haas Vincennes facility too. Street department's moving in right next door. It looks really nice. Got a couple ideas with some beds so we don't have to do some mowing, and we'll work on that here in the future and work with Dave and Kevin. Programs and events, we have resumed our lap swim program session. It takes place on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5:30 to 6:30. Costs $5 per session, and you can sign up in the park office. Look at the smile on Diane's face, will you? That's awesome. Are you enjoying that?
Oh my gosh.
And we got a crew coming out
I
now.
had 6 people there.
There you go, 6 people, yeah. It's great. Kelly Cook is helping us out with that program. She got certified. She was one of the first ones that Thomas Ingalls certified. And I can't thank Kelly enough. She used to be the programs director before she was the mayor's assistant and executive assistant. Can't thank her enough. She's got a great personality. She's pulling in her buzz. She's getting them up at 5:30 in the morning and dipping in that nice cold water. But I'm glad. It's nice we got a program. We'd like to do that in the evenings, and we're kind of discussing some evenings because I think if it grows like this, like we'd like it to, boy, I hope that's a problem. You know what I mean?
Talk about we may have to share some lanes.
Yes, I know.
Great problem.
Yeah, that is awesome. And once the Y opened up, we kind of lost that momentum, and I think it might be coming back. I hope so. I
Don't
doubt.
know what they're missing, I'm telling you.
I know, 5:30 in the morning, and you get to see Diane every Tuesday and Thursday, so there you go. We have kicked off spring pickleball league. We ended up with 12 total teams, and the league will run into mid-June. Our 2023 Easter egg hunt is coming up this Saturday, April 5th in Memorial Park. We're offering a separate hunt for our special needs friends at 9:30 a.m. That'll be at the Cedar Shelter, or as I'd like to call it, the Pickleball Tennis Shelter. They keep changing names, confuse me. That's not hard to do. And the other hunts will begin at 10:30, so 10:30. We're hoping for good weather. There again, we will call each individual age group one at a time. They all tend to, when we blow the whistle, everybody goes. So we will have our maintenance crew that is going to stand out there in the middle of the Easter egg hunt and make sure that the other groups don't go off too early, because somebody gets left out and that's not fun. Our 2023 Princess Party will be held on Sunday, May 7th at the Her Cabin. Come anytime between 11 and 2 to visit with Rapunzel and Sleeping Princess. It has to be Sleeping Beauty. Okay, enjoy cookies and punch and make a craft. Cost is $5. And there again, this week I met with Lebanon Youth Football League, preparing for the season. They have a few repairs to do the building. There again, that will be on them. It'll be completed after sitting down with them. It was a really nice conversation. We do this every year. It'll be completed by their board members and inspected by our staff. There again, something that they've noticed and we noticed, so it's nice to work together. We've received their insurance and has been received, been well received. Then their safety, let me see, I can't even read. I guess I do need these. Okay, safety, we're doing the repairs. We do background checks on them. Those will be done, and timelines were discussed. There again, met with Mary Geisel, Community Partnership Director, and Deidre, I'm terrible. I met her, her name starts with a D, Spalding, I'm sorry, Deidre, whatever, Deidre, anyway. She is the Community Engagement Director, and that is with Aspire, and there's options and programs, we went over those. We have a lot of needs out in our communities, and it was really nice. They want to partner with us. They do a couple different events throughout the park. One of them comes up this summer, nice program. They also have, gosh, what are the, well, anyway, I really enjoyed the time to discuss that. They'd like to come and speak sometime, and I said that we might want them to come and speak to the park board. Narcan, they have little kits of Narcan they'd like to put in the parks, and my recommendation, and I told them, I said, I just don't see how that would work, because, I mean, there's a lot of vandalism at the park, and those are not going to be, they're just going to be put on a building or something. Those would be taken and destroyed in less than a day, I promise you. And I said if we could get them contained somehow, better containment, it might work. I have some pictures that I'll show you after the meeting. I just don't think I think it's a great program to have Narcan around, but as far as Narcan, that's it, yeah. And they're in a little plastic, like, yes, that's it, yeah. They're that small, and they'd be gone, is what I'm afraid. We have problems with toilet paper and the little doggy bags around the park. Those are strung out every day. I mean, if we could stop the vandalism, but I just don't think we have problems with our library books down at Southside. People throw them and, so I think it's a good cause, but I said I just don't think we can do that now. But I'll have them come to the board and present something, and I just think we need something stronger, that more stable in those positions. There again, Programs Director Allison and I spoke at Kiwanis luncheon last week, had a very great lunch, let alone the feedback on the upkeep and the improvements to our parks, thanks to our park board and our maintenance staff. Also, are discussing to help, Kiwanis is discussing to help with our playground that we're replacing down in Abner Longley. I always got my hand out, but they're very good with the community. They do our fishing derby coming up in June, but they want to help out, and they've reached out to help us, so I think that's a great thing. And I'll know more about that later on. I think they have a grant that they're going to their main Kiwanis to see if they can do that. Last Saturday, our great partner Scott Carney at Radio Mom invited me to give an update on happenings in the park on Coach's Corner. I love our Radio Mom and all they do for us as far as advertising and getting the word out on our programs. Scott Carney and company just does a great job, and I really appreciate them, along with the reporter. They do a nice job too of promoting everything, but Scott's he's a dandy. Spoke with the council members, as Lori said earlier, and still discussing our projects and our list that we had discussed with them. And they do, like Lori said, there's a lot of other projects that they're looking at with other departments, and I'll let you know as soon as, any updates, as soon as they let us know about any funding on any projects. And that's all I had. The ones that we gave them to consider now are a path that's going around Abner Longley with lighting. Another one is the playground replacement at Abner Longley. I'm just going off the top of my head. There again, the American Rescue Plan money is going for a restroom out on the trailhead. That is one of the projects. American Rescue Plan is also going to take care of the fishing pier, fishing overlook at Abner Longley. Let me think, the paving at Reese Park, that's on the top of the list there for them.
Pickleball courts.
Pickleball courts, yes, revamping both the Abner Longley and the,
Disc golf.
oh yes, and disc golf, that is also taken care of with American Rescue Plan money. The disc golf and the pickleball at Abner and Memorial Parks, the revamping of them, that's in front of them too, and that, those are the ones. The American Rescue Plan, though, are taking care of those other things, the Abner Longley Pier, part of the pathway, also, or the trail, also the playground replacement. No, I'm wrong. Anyway, I've confused myself now. Now, the disc golf, there you go. Got that? I can send everybody a refresher when I get back to the
I was
office.
just looking, because I have notes from several years ago when we had our
Oh, no.
list and what our priorities
Oh, boy.
were. We have done several of them.
Yeah, two of them,
Parking
two,
lot
yeah.
is on there.
Yeah, 2 or 3 of the items that we had from 2008 got done last year, just saying. I mean,
Just-
there again, it comes down to funding, so.
Well, the number one item we had on there was the drainage issue, which you've mentioned earlier this evening.
Keeps getting kicked down the road, just
Yeah.
to say the least, yeah.
It was our number one.
Well-
This was from like about 2018 or.
And the reason behind it, like at Memorial Park, if you're gonna expand the pool, which is on the shelf now, that was quite a bit, that'll take a bond. Why go ahead and do the drainage if we're gonna do that, do it all in one package? So the drainage will be taken care of at the same time as the pool expansion. Abner Longley, some of that's been taken care of with the land swap that we did. The utilities took care of that. I call it the boat dock off of Hendricks Drive. They've taken care of most of that. They are doing some, they're gonna have to come back and do some more work with their work there because the grading wasn't done properly. But there again, another one out at Ruth Brookshire, that's another one that the drainage needs to be taken care of and tying into the tiles out there. Some of that work we're gonna try and do at Memorial Park that's around the playground. Deb's aware of it. She pointed out several things when we were doing the parks master plan. And some of that, Billy Smith said that he can take on with the superintendent. He's in the room and he's shaking his head yes, so that's still on board. We gotta wait, obviously, till it dries out. What are the other ones there, Diane? There's probably quite a few.
We had, there's probably 11 or 12 on here altogether, but like the splash pad, that's been completed.
Yes.
That was on our wish list. We had the restroom and the maintenance barn issue.
Yes.
Which that was completed. We had a couple of trail things, like from Northeast Street to the pool, and, I saw another one of those on here somewhere.
And those were taken care of by the council. Some of it came out of our budget, which we do supplement, and some of the professional services we take out of there, but yeah, it's pretty much council. Our budget's, it's going to get better with the growth that we're having, obviously, and we do have the park impact fees. That was something that was a great help. I think we have we have quite a bit in there. That can only go to new facilities or anything new. Can't do anything maintenance-wise with that money.
We also had that additional trail along, kind of adjacent to Lebanon Street in Memorial Park. That was
Yes.
completed.
Yeah.
Also, all the lighting and security at Memorial Park, all that lighting that was completed last year. The tennis courts at Abner and Memorial are still on here. And I don't know what we had in mind for the basketball court at Memorial Park.
Yes, it got redone. Yeah, that was also
That was done,
completed,
okay.
yeah.
I was thinking if there was something else. The playground at Abner Memorial,
Mm-hmm.
Abner and Memorial, and then we had the cabin listed. I don't know.
Yes, and it got redone, a restoration there. We
Everything was
had,
on that,
yeah,
okay.
all that was done
And
also.
then the community center at the Conservation Club,
Yes.
because that's on
And a
our wish
nature
list.
center, I believe, also was that. We were hoping, yeah.
And the splash pad, which was done, I mentioned already.
Yeah.
And then signage at Hot Pond, Abner Longley, and Reese Park.
And some of those are still in the works. We've changed our signage and changed the kind of footprint of it, so that will be, yes, some of those are coming off the printers as we speak.
And then we had down at the bottom, we listed pool expansion, because that was on our
Yes.
wish list too. So we've actually done a lot of the ones that were on here. This was kind of a brainstorming session that we sort of prioritized in, put numbers next to them, which ones we thought were the most important. But it's too bad about the drainage one, because I know that's a constant problem.
It is a constant problem, it is, that's all there is to it. A lot of those things were accomplished thanks to the guy behind me, Kevin Krulik, too, and the planning department, such good partners. I mean, all city, they're jumping in and, with their knowledge and all that, and I can't thank them enough. Our barns, Kevin's instrumental, and Derek Warren, I mean, Ben, all of them, everybody's just doing
I'm
it's
curious.
a team effort.
Damon, you mentioned about doing the spray painting for a temporary, trying to get some parking spaces. We had a note on here that for the parking lot at Reese, 58 parking places. How many were you able to come up with?
I didn't actually do the striping, I'm not sure exactly.
Okay.
I
I'm just curious how close we were when we were trying to
54.
estimate.
Yeah, I counted 54.
Between 50 and 60.
No, it's we're close, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And they need more parking space. I mean, there is, I did talk to Scott Milam. I met with him yesterday. He is the varsity soccer coach. I believe he's on Damon's and Brett's board. I said with 360 kids, if you're going to have 500, we could still go ahead, and it might be too late in the year, but for the parking issues, and that's a problem there. It really is. Working on signage right now, or actually changing the ordinance for the speed limit that's there. It needs to be dropped down to 20. It's 30 right now. It's next to a park. Have the same thing at Noble Street that we're working on. But to solve that parking issue and restroom issue, take some of the crowd and bring them down to Abner Longley. You have that open space there. I did throw that out to Scott Milam. That would help your parking, and, that's just a quick fix for now. But, yeah, that's all I had. Yeah.
I had a couple follow-up questions just from previous stuff.
Sure.
You mentioned the last time you were here, I believe, and the time before that, about the Witham sign out at the football field and taking
Yes.
that down. I just didn't hear you follow up on that.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah.
All right. The other one, I'm assuming that football concession stand's pretty big. It probably went through the same process. Like I say, we didn't know about that process, that for putting buildings and structures and going through council and getting all that, even if we don't get funding, we'd have to do some paperwork ourselves just to put it up.
They have all, yeah, that, part of that building was already existing when youth football took over. Then they added the addition, came to the park board, went through the planning department, all the zoning, all that, and also with the storage, they did that, and.
So does that process exist somewhere that we can find, take, and use, and?
Yes, there is a process, yes.
That football field used to be the high school football. So
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah, some of the facility was already existing.
I have a question about the birdhouses on the Big Four Trail. Do you know who is in charge of those?
That was a group, and they kind of did that without permission as far as that goes. There was some birdhouse building, there were other things. Yes, no, quite frankly, there was a Girl Scout group. I think they might have come and talked to you at one of the meetings when they were talking about funding and helping out with the dog park with some things. I think that was discussed then. Again, there's a few out there. Why, is there an
I
issue?
just noticed that, no, well, some have fallen down, and they just
Yes.
don't look as nice as they used to, so I didn't know who was in charge of those.
Yeah,
and
that was
how
a
we
Girl
could-
Scout group, and that's the concern. They wanted to put the little rubber tires in the Memorial Park, and I didn't even bring that before you, because I said, no, flying things, and, yeah, it wouldn't go over too well, I don't think, so. But, yeah, I'll try and look into that and see if I can
I mean, I think it's a neat thing to
I
have
do
out there.
too.
They're colorful, they are, the birds are going to use them, and people ask questions about them, so I just didn't know who was in charge to make them look better, or put them back up.
It's better than the poop bags they were hanging up out there,
Right.
that's for sure, yeah. Hate to end on that note, happy Easter, everyone, there you go.
Okay, if nothing else, if the board doesn't have any more questions for anyone, I'd entertain, or I'm looking for a motion to pay the claims. I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. And the last on the agenda is I entertain a motion to adjourn. I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second?
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. Good evening, everyone, and have a nice Easter.
Meeting because my son is taking me on a cruise with his